Hey everyone, it is Dani'i and welcome to this evening update on what is happening. So we have a new area behind or potential tropical storm that has been highlighted for possible development by the National Hurricane Center, and alongside that there is some activity happening right now across sections of the Caribbean, so I will be delving into that as well and just attempt to condense the information on what the latest is for these potential systems. And so before I go into details, please do subscribe if you haven't yet done so and tap the bell so that you never miss an important update. Okay, so firstly, we are looking at the Caribbean, and there we see that blob of activity still very much prevalent in the southwestern Caribbean. There's a tropical wave in the area helping to induce some of that shower and thunderstorm activity as well. So some sections of El Salvador, southern Guatemala, going to parts of Honduras, Nicaragua, even down to Costa Rica and western Panama, experiencing some inclement weather conditions across some areas. And so this is likely going to be remaining persistent there for some time. For Jamaica, though, we see a bit of thunderstorm activity. Similar story over Cuba, going to the northern Bahamas and South Florida, and also into parts of the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. So just as I mentioned earlier about that increase in moisture potentially leading to the development of some of that shower and thunderstorm activity, that's what we're seeing across some areas this evening. And then over in the Lesser Antilles, things are pretty clear for the most part. You might notice those cirrus clouds, which appear to be those feathery clouds high up in the atmosphere, coming from some of that activity in the northern Caribbean. Things looking to be pretty clear also for the ABC Islands, going down to Trinidad and Tobago, a bit of activity. We see some more convective activity in sections of Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, and French Guiana as well. But now we want to drift to the east, and here we have our two disturbances. We have Invest 92L and a new system identified just this evening in the 8 p.m. update from the National Hurricane Center, but it is given a low chance of development. So we'll be looking at what models are expecting for both of these. I won't be spending a whole lot of time on 92L because the information hasn't changed a whole lot since my update video earlier, but I'll be showing you guys what is anticipated. Of course, I really love talking about this kind of activity. And by the way, this is something that we would be seeing August to go into September with so much activity. But nonetheless, let us go ahead and get on with these. So for 92L, the chance remains high at 90%. So it's likely to become a tropical depression or even a storm, acquiring the name Brett maybe by tomorrow. So this could very well enter the Caribbean. And if it does, it will likely be pretty weak, maybe a weak tropical storm or even a depression, thanks to some increased unfavorable conditions that it will encounter. Nonetheless, the east is in need of some rainfall, but when we're talking about a tropical storm or even a depression with enough convective activity, that can lead to loss of heavy rainfall, which can induce flooding across many areas. And so that we wouldn't want, but the rainfall would be very much welcomed by many persons within these islands here. And so going on to our new disturbance now, not designated an Invest, but it is located to the southeast of the Cabo Verde Islands, given a 20% chance of development behind 92L. So the chance is low for this one here, and some models do not really have it developing, and most of the focus right now, even from the public, you guys, is on 92L. But what could potentially happen with that second system? Let's go ahead and take a look at the ensemble tracks from both GFS and Euro. So we're starting out with Euro, and each of those lines you see, they represent individual members, and the colors help us to identify how strong each member is expecting it to be. There's a key right there, that lighter blue indicating winds of around 30 knots, that darker blue 40 knots, and that is where we get to that tropical storm force winds, and then head into the green 50 and so on. So let's see what is expected. Now, as we're going to be heading into later tomorrow, going into Tuesday, most of these expecting that 92L will likely be a tropical storm. And there we have that new set of members expecting that we might see development of that second disturbance that is identified. But notice that some of them are expecting that it will be curving up to the northwest, and that would be some good news, because I mean, one behind the other, that is just something very crazy to see from the main development region in the month of June. And so going on to the GFS ensemble members, let's take a look at what they have to show. And we are seeing here that definitely expecting a tropical storm even by tomorrow morning. Some of these expecting some rapid intensification here, and it is also, the model is also expecting that system in the western Caribbean. Other models are not so hot on it. The National Hurricane Center hasn't marked anything there, but nonetheless, it's good to pay attention to what is expected. But I really don't think that we're going to be seeing anything too intense. But the GFS ensemble members are also picking up on that second wave behind 92L, possibly intensifying as we're going to be heading into the latter part of this week. And so ahead of these systems, things are pretty moist for 92L. We've got a lot of that dry air to the west and north of the disturbance, and it is kind of shielding that tropical wave. We don't see too much dry air in front of that new one, but let's see what's going to be happening over the next couple of days. And so in tomorrow's update, I'll delve more into details about what is anticipated, guys. So that is pretty much it for now. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. I'll try to respond as best and as soon as I can. And remember to always be weatherwise.